Welcome in to another edition of Mike Chuck, the podcast where we talk wrestling. Mike Sautter here with my friend Chuck. I don't know if we're friends anymore.
Loose term.
Very loose term. Yeah. So we have a literally big guest tonight. Like he's bigger than you. Yeah, giant. He's bigger than you.
Well, he doesn't weigh that much more, but he's a lot taller.
That's because you're not small.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Touche. I'll wear that one for messing up the start.
Yeah. So thanks, buddy. No, yeah. So Tyson Terry is our guest tonight. And then we will finish the show. It is Dru Kastler's time with us this week. We got a lot to talk about with Dru and breaking down just everything that happened over the break. Well, I guess we had a little mini thing, but we got the prep invite to break down. We have a bunch of other stuff, Cheesehead and all the other stuff to go. So let's get on with the show and welcome in our man Tyson Terry, TNT. And we got a lot to talk about, I think, with Tyson.
Old mop top.
What's going on?
Yeah, man, get a haircut. Jeez.
Yeah, you got to get that trimmed up.
I'm surprised your dad's been like, okay.
Yeah. He's been on me, but it's coming off soon, you know, the buzz cut for state, so
oh boy. I don't think anybody wants to see that. That's it's a little bit of an intimidating sight. Look at angry buzz cut Tyson Terry.
With a nice beard lineup too. Gonna be looking really fresh.
Yeah, I got a guy if you need one. I do.
I like my barber a lot.
He's got to buzz you in.
Yeah, he does. I got a guy. It's my guy. Lines my beard up occasionally.
Sports clips.
Definitely not.
I'm playing.
Not that. Right. Tyson, how'd it feel to be back on the mat, man? It's been a while, right? Like, how'd it feel to be back on the mat?
You know, it felt really good. My first match, you know, I had some butterflies. Not sure, you know, why, but once I got out there, you know, got that first match done at the prep tournament, you know, it kind of everything just was, you know, released. I think, you know, it felt great. I wanted the prep kind of to be like my start off. I was planning on some other guys, you know, wrestling there. Didn't work out, but it's all good. But you know, it feels good being back, you know, during the off season, you know, didn't really, you know, wasn't looking forward to it. And then, you know, kind of really getting back into practice and stuff. And, you know, during December, you know, that fire was, you know, shooting right back. And so, you know, it's been awesome.
How much did you have to lose to get down to weight?
I was like 305. So
your dad said you're a little heavier than that.
He was lying. I was 305.
He said you were sneaking off with the little Christmas tree cupcakes.
No, I just he didn't really see what I really weighed, so I was about 305.
But yeah, right.
I'm not lying.
Man, you had like time off during the football season to gain some weight. So let's be real here.
Yeah, we can keep it real here.
I mean, I was 305 to 310. That's what I was.
There we go. We're getting that 5-pound buffer now.
Yeah, we're kind of just inching it up. As we go.
I was like 308. This is what I weighed like before I, you know, started cutting it back and everything.
How hard was it to get rid of that weight?
I mean, the first week, you know, I was, you know, able to, you know, kind of fully, you know, get back to wrestling and, you know, moving around and running. I think I lost like 10 in like my first practice. So, you know, I mean, it wasn't like it, you know, hard or anything like that. It was, you know, falling off of me. So, wasn't a, a bad weight cut, or I mean, I wouldn't really say weight cut, but just kind of trimming down a little bit.
Hey, let's rewind a little bit and talk a little bit of football. I guess it never really was public what the injury was, but it was a knee. If you don't feel like sharing what it was, it's fine. But if you would like to expand on what the actual injury was, because there was a scare there, that it might be something more than what it was.
Yeah, there was, a lot of rumors going around. It was a deep bone bruise. So with that, I just was able to, rest it. I felt like for me, my goal was, be a 4-time state champ. So it was either, kind of sit there and, maybe risk some other small injuries, during finishing football out, or was it worth just kind of, sitting and resting and, finish wrestling out. And so, that was kind of a decision, me, my dad, my family, we were thinking about for weeks. And so once we kind of finally, understood what we were doing, we kind of just sat out the rest of football and focused on, my 4-state title. So.
Yeah, what you had there was a lot of talk and collaboration, not just with your family, but I mean, there was Nebraska football staff involved. Coach Martin was like, hey, like, we're cool with this. Tyson's given us all he's got for 4 years. We know that the bigger goal is to be a 4-time state champion and undefeated heavyweight, which is, never been done. There was a lot of other kind of people involved in that decision, right?
Yeah. It was, bigger than, just as in family, Coach Martin, he was right there, Coach Rule, talking with him and, seeing what his thoughts are and their, what they thought down there. And so I was, he was, letting me wrestle, let me, see what it had. And so I was fortunate enough, for him to, not kind of tell me to stop and, graduate early. Because I know that's really what Coach Knighton wanted at the end of the day, was for me to graduate early and go down right away. But I knew it wasn't something that a lot of people kind of understand like what this means for me. I was at the state tournament since I don't know how I can remember you watching. So it's something that me and my dad have always talked about. It's something that I've always worked for. Going traveling around the country when I was in youth tournaments, just everything was for high school. So it was a lot of consideration. It was a long few weeks that I didn't know what was going to happen, but at the end of the day, I knew that I just needed to trust myself, trust my my gut, and I wanted to finish out wrestling.
So, is there any chance that we'll ever see you in that Husker wrestling room?
I think the only chance you would see me in the Husker wrestling room is training in the off season. I don't plan on competing at all. Once I get down there, I just plan on focusing on football. Focusing on myself, with the team and getting better there. I'm open, just staying in shape, training, with the team in the off season. But no competing right now.
We'll talk you into it.
Yeah. You get in that room with Travell, and then your guy Cade is there, and you might change your mind.
You might get the itch a little bit.
We'll see. We'll see.
Just throwing around offensive linemen instead of wrestlers is your future.
Yeah.
So knowing that this is your last go at it and that you're more than likely never competing, how bittersweet is that for you?
Yeah, I haven't really thought of it much, but I've kind of just thought of it a few times. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be fun. I just want to leave everything out there, like I have in the past. There's nothing to look back to now. Kind of just have fun. That's what I've thought, just from the start of the season. And that's going to be my thing for the whole season. Just go out there, have fun. It's got maybe 20 more matches left. So just kind of want to, have the best I can. Just I know I know that I'm probably not going to wrestle, ever again. So 'cause I know I'm going to miss it. So just leave it all out there.
You think you'll get emotional in a like sappy emotional way if you do end up winning that fourth state title and end up undefeated?
Yeah. I feel like it'll be more like happy, emotional. If it things do work out like that. But you just gotta keep going day in and day out. In the room, the tournaments. So yeah.
His dad still try tying up with you?
No, he. What's funny is, we when I first kind of was able to get back wrestling, me and him were drilling and stuff, and I think the next day he didn't want no problems with me anymore. So
Got snapped down one too many times.
Yeah, he was he was crying that he was all sore and his body was hurting. So I think might be a little too big for him now.
Well, I'm on his side on this one.
Yeah, I probably the only thing I would do is try a wrestling match with him. So
don't do it, Ryan. You'll blow your knee out.
Yes, you will, won't you, Chuck? No comment, Chuck? No, we got nothing. All right, keep it moving.
Sorry, I froze. What was that?
Yeah. Tyson, you and I talked at your signing day. You signed that letter of intent for Nebraska. And I was there, and you got pretty emotional about Omaha North and what it means to you. And it's a pretty special place to you, right? Like it's a really special place. And you, like I said earlier, you gave the football program all you got. You given the school all you've got. I mean, I've been to basketball games. You're in front of the student section, like trying to get people maybe cheering. A little light.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, like North means so much to you. It means a lot. Why?
North, like, you walk down the weight room, it's uncles, my dad, cousins, my aunt, I have an aunt up there. And so, for me, I'm the fourth generation at North. My family, they're from North Omaha.
Right.
I grew, my great grandpa, he started Little Vikes back in 1967. So, my family, I come from a big family. I know you guys, probably know that, but huge family, and so, for what North means to me is I've grown up, around North. I've known Coach Martin my pretty much entire life. And, the relationship that, me and him have are, second to none. He's kind of like a father figure to me. And growing up in these past couple of years, and I have a Viking tattoo on my back. So, it just North means a lot to me. It always will be. And so just sitting there in front of, family and friends, it just kind of like all like came to my mind. I was just thinking about it and just kind of let my emotions, get the best of me there. But it was really just a good feeling just to have, everybody, be there. It was an amazing signing day.
Yeah. I have a quick story for you about Coach Martin and you that you may not know. So this is a very true story. So you were going into your freshman year. So you're eighth grade. eighth graders in Omaha and Lincoln make decisions on where they're going to go to high school and things. And like you were the big fish, right? You're the biggest fish. And I just randomly called Coach Martin. Like it was maybe a Saturday night at like 9:00. And he answered the phone and he was like almost crying because your dad was at his house in the garage or something. And your dad had literally 20 minutes before I called him deliver the news that you were going to North. And he was emotional about it.
Yeah.
Like that's a true story. I mean, I will never forget that because I was like, whoa, this dude's impact on like the program is going to be so big. And Coach Martin's like this, big tough guy and like big tough teddy bear. And I will never forget that. He was like so happy that you decided to go to North.
I never knew that.
Yeah. It was, I guess your dad was there with, at the same time with him. And he goes, I normally I wouldn't answer the phone, but you called me and you called me and he always, Coach Martin always calls me coach for some reason. I'm like, I'm not a coach. So,
that's his
coach.
thing.
And he goes, coach. I mean, Mike, like I got, he was very happy.
Yeah. That's cool to know.
Well, Tyson, I really think you've left a great impact, and we really appreciate you coming on our show multiple times and being a big advocate for us too.
Mm-hmm.
We're really gonna miss you, but obviously we'll stay in touch with you. Mike, maybe we'll make it down to a bowl game with him in it.
Oh man, now you're trying to get me to spend money here. I don't know. I mean,
well, we told Joel Adams we'd go to the Olympics, so
that's
I think
true.
It's fair, right?
Yeah,
it's probably fair. Like it's probably a fair assumption. So, no, Tyson, for real. Like we've had you on as a special, on the longer form of our show here for 3 straight years now. So, we've asked you the "Are you going to wrestle?" question. We've asked you football questions. We've asked you all these random questions. We've joked with you and everything. But I want to echo what Chuck said. Like you're a great dude. You mean a lot to a lot of people, and the relationship is there between us, and I know that, and I very much so appreciate it. So. Go get them. I think everyone outside of parents and people that are wrestlers or coaches of heavyweights in Class A this year are rooting for you. I know I am. So, go get them and good luck.
Yeah, I appreciate you you guys having me on. It's always fun seeing you guys around at the tournaments. But we'll always stay in touch. Maybe see another wrestling match here in the future.
Between me and him?
Yeah.
He doesn't want that.
Not ever. Not ever.
He doesn't want that.
Not once. Not I'm retired.
Retired. He's done.
I'm retired except for if Chuck really feels frisky. Then we might have Then we might see.
Let me get under 200 and we'll talk about it.
You've been saying that for a couple years now, bud.
I'm almost there.
Oh,
down to 210.
That's nice.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
And then I'll slap that bald head and leave a handprint on it so your head looks like Wilson from Castaway.
Still can't beat me. So, still can't beat me.
All right. Well, we'll just keep that going for now.
All right, man.
We'll
thanks. Appreciate it, Tyson.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
See you.
How cool is it going to be to see him in the NFL?
Yeah,
because that's going to happen.
So I do football and basketball stuff and everything. And I said it when he was a sophomore, I was like, I know he's going to play defensive line, but I think that dude could be like a Cam Jurgens center in the NFL for a very long time, or an interior offensive lineman for a very long time in the NFL. Like that's just what I like. His heart is set on playing defensive line, and I've told him this. I think he's an offensive lineman, and I think he would be a damn good interior offensive line for a very long time.
That dude's feet are unreal. How fast
Right.
his feet are and how quick and fluid he moves. Like, and he's just like, I mean, are we finding a nicer kid than him? I mean,
he is like
Yeah.
the definition of like gentle giant, right? Like he's an awesome kid. I'm serious. Like he cares deeply about Omaha North and that community and that school and what they've done for him and his family. I mean, it is very real when he talks about Omaha North.
yeah, that's one person I'll never talk bad about Omaha North in front of, even if I am a Central alumni.
Yeah, well, that's probably a good idea.
Because he will hurt me.
Yeah, he would, and me, and a lot of other people. So
At the same time.
he would also hurt our next guest, I believe. Feel good about that one.
Well, Drew's smaller than both of us.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, shorter than me. He's probably smaller. Maybe no, I don't know. Anyway, all right. So let's get to it. We got a lot to kind of get to with Dru Kastler from NEWrestle. Drew.
What up, guys?
Could Tyson Terry beat you in a wrestling match?
Yes. Yeah. Jeez. And what's up?
He would beat all three of us at the same
and
time.
Tyson back-to-back times. This is.
What'd you say?
I have to follow up Cade Ziola and Tyson Terry back-to-back shows.
That's just the way it worked out.
That is tough.
Well, because you can handle it. We don't know if Cody could, because he'd be watching rodeo or something on the TV in the
or
background.
NASCAR or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, he watches NASCAR?
Oh, I mean, I'm assuming he does.
No.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to reach out and ask him. I don't know.
He's a Formula One guy.
I'd put money on him watching NASCAR.
Wow. I mean, was it last show?
Not saying that's a bad thing. I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but
was it the last show?
I'm sure there's people who like NASCAR.
I think it was the last show. He was like, "Hey guys, I'm watching
some sort of bull riding."
No, it wasn't even that. It was like some breakaway roping something, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, he's all in.
Outdoor chicken wrangling.
Wow.
He follows football intently. I mean, he's got his head in a lot of things, man. Baseball, I know he does like all sorts of baseball stuff, which I don't either. But
he's a big.
So many numbers.
Yeah, too many games.
Big baseball guy. All right. So Drew, there was a lot that happened in the last week.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Where do you want to start?
Yeah. No. I mean, well, okay. First of all, the Terry name in wrestling is still going to be a thing here. I think there's all three of them are siblings. Tinley, Paxton, and Ashton.
Yes.
Tinley's the girl.
Tinley and Ashton are brother and sister.
Okay.
Paxton is Tyson's younger brother.
Okay. All three of them. So uncle and then his kids and okay. So
Aaron of
them were top 5 at Winter Nationals, which that's a big, huge youth tournament. Tons of kids, like really good kids from Iowa, were in town over the weekend, and I watched all of them wrestle a little bit, and they're freaking good. So that you're not going to see the end of the Terry name just yet, I don't think.
And Carter Williams, who's Ryan's sister's kid.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And he just won Winter Nationals as well.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah. So on the high school side of things, obviously Creighton Prep had a huge week last week. They won their home invite.
Yeah.
We got to see Tyson wrestle in that.
Then the next day.
Then the next day they drove to freaking Fargo, North Dakota for the Rumble on the Red tournament. They had 2 guys, Cruiser Dominguez and JT Smith, who are ranked number 1. They got like sick. Mm-hmm. So they didn't wrestle. There's 70 teams in this event, and they still won. It literally came down to the last match. Mikey Navarro pinned his kid, if he would have won by decision, they would have lost by half a point, and he pinned his kid for the team to get first place. Is crazy.
Yeah, Cole won it, and Adonis won it, right?
Yep, dominant. Cole like pin teched his way through the whole thing, and then Adonis beat a Minnesota State medalist in the finals.
I don't know who would ever drive to Fargo. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys would never do that, would you?
Probably not.
Certainly, you wouldn't have an eating contest there either, right?
It's coming back this summer.
Yeah, but the one bite tacos were actually really good. So.
They were pretty good. I wouldn't keep eating them like that. I would enjoy them, which I did.
But by that time, I was enjoying them, I think. So it was all right. Now, all right. So Prep has squarely put themselves in the like team to beat maybe Lincoln East in Class A, but Prep, we feel pretty good about Prep. You know,
yeah, I do. You've sort of got to see now, like Millard South and Lincoln East have mingled, and Lincoln East did finish ahead of Millard South at the CB Classic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think either team had all their guys for that, but Lincoln East is pretty impressive there. And so, I mean, obviously keep an eye on that situation because Lincoln East kind of breezed through the Badger duels in Bennington this last week.
Yeah. I
mean, I think in a duel, Lincoln East and Prep could be pretty close. So that's one I don't think you'll get to see until state duels, but I kind of feel like that could be a close one. State tournament wise, I don't think Prep has anything to really truly worry about right now, unless maybe they have some guys dealing with injuries or something.
Prep,
see, yeah. I kind of disagree with that, though. I think Lincoln East has those guys that can come up the backside and medal, get third, fifth.
Oh, yeah, but absolutely. They 100% can. I mean, but we're talking, Prep has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the top 2, 6 guys in the top 2. You're not going to beat a team that finishes with that many up there. Like Lincoln East is going to have to go.
That's why we wrestle the tournament.
Yeah, it is. But but that's why in a duel, like Prep is super strong through 138. And they still have good guys after that, but they're like Lincoln East they'll make hay at 44, 50, 57, and they could move some guys around too to maybe be more effective. But I do think the duel will be close. And I think at state, it's probably going to be like Prep, probably going to have like a 50, 60 point buffer in there. And yes, I may have went through the numbers before we did this tonight.
I'm not counting out the fighting Rutledges.
But I think Millard South, they're getting a lot out of Brady Danzy right now.
Yeah,
he's wrestling really well. Sanchez and him wrestled a good match. I think Sanchez beat him by 1, or it was really close. And if you have Danzy ends up winning state or something, and then you got Mink and Glenn who are front runners. Millard South could be up there too, and Columbus is kind of sneaky good in A, which probably haven't seen or heard a whole lot out of them, but they're going to duel Prep and Millard South. There's going to be a triangular at Millard South here later this month.
Oh wow!
Well, Columbus is a team that's always going to be right there in your top 3 to 5. They're just so well coached, and they've got a million kids in that Columbus Youth Wrestling Organization.
Yeah, they're good.
I was gonna
and Grand Island too, guys. They had a duel last week that it was actually the girls' duel and the boys' duels. They were both in Grand Island, and Grand Island won the duel on the last match with each boys and girls team, which had to have just been nuts. Like I wish I was there to see that.
Yeah. And while I was going to make a joke about Columbus not having a good coach, but
friend of the show, Adam Keysweater.
Yeah.
Friend of the show. Hey, while we're, staying with A and, maybe dropping on a B, I want to look ahead a little bit to this week. There's some pretty big things happening as far as duels are concerned with Bennington, Millard South. That's Glenn and Lortzen going to go at it. That's going to be entertaining. Just that one match alone is worth just the price of admission. And then Thursday,
Scott and Prep.
The biggest duel probably of the year was Scott and Prep.
Yeah, I think from purely like number one versus number one, you got on each team you have like nationally relevant wrestlers and I mean it's going to be really, really cool. Originally they were going to like have it in Lincoln, but then they switched it back to Prep, which is good because I think we're going to stream it. Then obviously, hopefully you're there. Did you win the poll? Did wrestling win the poll?
It's not close. No. No.
Damn.
I might show up still anyway, but it's not. There's no shot.
Well, that's going to be, it's going to be freaking awesome. And you should get some really good matches out of the deal. So,
it'll be, and it's fun. Like both the Catholic school, the bigger Catholic schools in the city and all that stuff. So kind of, and both obviously like program, like Scuts, their program is what it is. And Prep is like the new thing right now. So it's kind of very interesting.
It really is. No, it's going to be awesome. I'm glad they scheduled it. I heard at one point, like even maybe they were trying to get Battle Creek to do it too, which Battle Creek's quite good. In Class C, when they're at their full lineup, dual wise, they're really solid. So that would have been kind of cool just to like say it happened. I don't know that Battle Creek, just smaller school. I don't know that they would quite be able to run with the big guns, but they have some guys. They have some dudes that would give it a run for sure.
No, yeah. Battle Creek is definitely. I think Cody said last week, like they're probably the team to beat, right? In C1, aren't they? C1?
In Class C, yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Class C, Battle Creek in both duels, and then the state tournament will be a tough team to topple. There's injury things, and they may be missing a person or two for a little while, but when it's all said and done, I don't think that they'll have any issues. But yeah, and Battle Creek will be at the Manstedt in Columbus this weekend. I call it High Plains because it started as the High Plains invite.
Right.
But that's going to be a good one. The girls' event on Thursday has 55 teams.
Wow.
So they're going to run 10 mats. I think 10 mats now on Thursday. 55 teams and like double-digit ranked teams from A and B. And then also, there's just going to be all sorts of crazy matches. And we got a little bit of kind of a similar tournament at Winnebago last
weekend,
40 teams, and 10 of them were ranked, and a couple South Dakota teams. And
Norfolk girls won that, right?
What's that?
Norfolk girls won that.
Norfolk girls, yeah. The Norfolk girls, they're kind of the, it was originally
they're on a tear.
At the beginning of the year, it was like, is it going to be Grand Island or West Side? Well, West Side's got a bunch of injuries, and Grand Island, I think they're 235 isn't on the team this year, and there's a few things kind of maybe missing from what they were expecting, and so now all of a sudden the girls' side of things, especially in Class A, is kind of a little more up in the air, which is cool. It's good for the sport.
Yeah. What about we touched a little bit on A, B, C. What about in Class D, like teams?
Class D is probably going to be the most exciting team race.
Right. Yeah.
Scud is like by far and away Class B heavy favorite. That's set it in stone. Anything can happen, but set it in stone. Right. Class D, there's we ranked Plainview number one in our set that we actually released today, and it was it Shelby Rising City before that? But there's Shelby Rising City, there's Burwell, there's Aquinas still, who's not going to go down without a fight. And Central Valley and Sutherland too. So,
right.
I really like that Shelby Rising City team.
What's that?
I really like that Shelby Rising City team.
Oh, dude, their upper weights are crazy, and then
insane.
They're getting some good traction out of this Eichmeyer kid at 138. He's a sophomore. He was he wasn't on the radar to begin the year, and him trending up a little bit's definitely. If he finishes top 6, then, maybe Shelby wins it. We really don't know, honestly, at this point in Class D, which is cool.
The Verbkas there, too, are pretty good, right?
Yep, Verbka and Fjell. I don't know. I wish I could say it, but you know what I mean. The 215.
Fjell.
Is that how you say it?
think so, Joe.
Yeah, I don't know. He's really good at 215. There's a 3 or 4 guys at that weight that are going to be in the mix for a state title.
Hey, it just so happens, like you brought up Plainview, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I did not plan this by any means, but I have my Plainview wrestling shirt on right now. So
Look at that.
I'm not going to take my shirt off, but it's the
one.
nice. Yeah.
Oh, that's
All right.
cool. That is cool.
That is pretty sweet.
Yeah. I didn't that's unplanned, but you brought up Plainview and I was like, oh yeah, I think I have that shirt on then. Yep. Yeah.
Plainview, they had their stretch a few years ago where they were really awesome, and gosh, they're back, I guess. And that Adric Stewart, the freshman kid at 106, he's really good at wrestling. So I'd probably pick him to win Class B, and then C. He'd be up there. I mean, he's that good. So. Yeah, just some good young talent there in Plainview. So I think, again, it's wide open, and there's probably 5-6 teams in Class D that are going to be, in the fray.
Yeah. Let's look ahead a little bit. We talked, a little bit, I guess, about the duels and the Manstead. Manstead's obviously the biggest one, but are there any other tournaments or duels out there that have your kind of, you're looking forward to?
Central City's always good. I love Central City because that's a tournament that I grew up wrestling in when I was younger, but they're always going to have a handful of ranked teams and good solid brackets. So there's going to be especially some good individual matchups there. The EMC duels, so you're going to get to see Bennington and Waverly, which for Class B, kind of trying to figure out the top dual teams or the top challenger to Scud, I guess. York beat Waverly, and so you can kind of compare Bennington and Waverly this week, assuming they meet up, which they probably will. And Hastings is in there, and they're pretty good. And Elkhorn North and Gretna East got decent groups, and so you're going to get to sort of figure out a lot of Class B from the dual side on Friday at the EMC duels, and then Aquinas has their invite this weekend too. That's a good one. C and D heavy.
Okay. All right, man. Should be a fun week, I guess. It's getting closer. Like we're like 1 month away from
that's wild to think.
About a month away from state duels now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like we're like a month away from like district, state stuff like starting to happen.
This break felt long, because you had the moratorium, and then there was only like 1 or 2 tournaments that first weekend back. So then you pretty much had a whole week where you had a handful of events. And so by the time the tournaments come this weekend, or even Scott and Prep, it's almost going to have been 3 weeks since we really had like a full slate of wrestling. So, I mean, I'm ready. I'm excited.
Yeah, should be a good time. All right, Drew, thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So we're ready to get back after it.
Oh, absolutely. Where are you going this weekend, Chuck?
I will be. No, I've got a
youth tournament.
I don't know where I'll be this weekend. I have to look it up. I don't know where I'll be.
Go to Columbus, Chuck.
Ooh.
Go to the Manstead in Columbus. Get out a little bit.
I got a microphone for you if you want to commentate the finals. Just right out there with Cody on Saturday. You guys can do it together.
I might. We'll talk about. Well, we got practice Saturday, so I can't.
Oh man.
Always excuses.
Yeah.
Always has an
Frick
excuse.
you guys.
All right, Drew. Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. All right. That was Dru Kastler from NEWrestle. Nobody better than those guys covering high school wrestling in Nebraska.
They make our job way easier, right?
Yeah. Wrestling in general, right? Like I'll just say wrestling in general. So they are they actually show up and are, faces that
they're true wrestling people.
Yeah, faces you can recognize and know who they are. So yeah. All right, man. That is a good show. Tyson Terry's good, man. It's great.
Yeah. But I just want to give you a warning. next time I see you, right across the mouth, pal. You're getting a little slap.
That's fine. Like, I don't know. Like, probably won't even see you in person because you never leave your, like, this little bubble where you live. So
that's false. I go past 72nd every day to go to work.
Okay, but other than that, you don't.
Well, yeah, then that's pretty fair.
Yeah, right. All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.